Rocky, as we get ready for the end of the season, I know you and I talked way back your first weekend in mid-April, and you told me point blank this: you had a really young team. So you've taken some lumps, but how do you feel about your squad here in mid-July as you're getting ready to prep for the postseason?
Well, not just being young, it's just more inexperience. I mean, I got a lot of young kids, but it's just the inexperience playing at this level. I mean, it's been a rough go. But you know what? Right now they're starting to figure it out. It was when actually Lozano and Laramie came to our place on the 28th of June is when it really started to click. I mean, we lost both of them games, but I mean, I thought the way that they played, the way that they competed, the way that they hit the baseball, especially off of Ruffman and Dodd, it was a really good sign for these young kids to see that kind of stuff and be able to barrel some baseballs up. Even the outs were loud. So those kind of things are really positive. And so we've built on that, and we've done some good things in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, you got two huge wins against Evanston. So you're not going to be in that 8th spot where, unfortunately, you guys have kind of been locked in playing against Cheyenne. Obviously, we don't have any conferences, but you're not locked in that bottom spot. How big was that? How big were those two wins against Evanston in conference for you?
Well, I mean, we've been preaching to these boys all year long is go out and compete, right? And that's been the struggle for us, that competitive fire. And like I said, it was that Laramie game where it finally showed up. And then when we went to Evanston, it was huge for us because we got a lead. It wasn't a very pretty game. It was pretty ugly, both sides. But we built a big lead, and Evanston made their comeback. And my captain Huddy G was on the mound, pitched well. We made a lot of mistakes defensively, and I put a kid in that couldn't find the zone, pitched about 16 pitches. Right, I took him out and put a kid in that doesn't have a whole lot of innings, doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but I know he can throw strikes, and that was all we needed. And I mean, we had bases loaded and 1 out. They put 6 up, made it 11-9. He comes in, and on the second pitch, gets a ground ball right back to him and turns a 1-2-3 double play to get us out of the inning. And then goes back out there and shuts him down and gets a 5-out save. I mean, it was huge, right? And then that next game, same thing. Jaden Hunt on the mound, pitches a gem. Can't make some plays again, which has been our Achilles heel. He runs out of pitches. We're down 6-3. Kids make a just gutty, gritty performance at the plate. Billy Peterson comes up with a huge hit down the line. And then Pasola comes in and he faced the gauntlet, got Gavin Oliver out in that 6th inning, and then went 2-3-4. Cohen got a double, but after that he got Brax out, and we end up winning 8-7, something like that. So, I mean, those games were huge because they were gutted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they were gritty wins.
Well, and that's something you can build on at this time of the year.
Absolutely.
And so what do you like about what your team's doing right now, Rocky?
That's it.
Okay.
It's that competitive fire, right? That's what I love. And I love the way they're hitting baseball. I mean, honestly, me and the old man Stub Hadfield talk about it all the time. If we could cut our errors in half, right? I think we'd probably be 10 games over 500, to be honest. I mean, that's how bad we've really been defensively. We've pitched well, we've caught well, we've hit well, but our errors happen, and it's just they're so costly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then games that are close end up, out of reach because it's just a snowball effect, right? But even before before that Laramie game, we make them errors, and we kind of just there wasn't a whole lot of fight, right? We just kind of rolled over.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a whole lot of rollover. I mean, even in that 9-inning game we played with Casper Sunday,
Yeah.
I mean, it was same thing, kind of ugly both sides. I mean, there were 7 earned runs by us, 3 earned runs by them. I mean, it was just, but they never quit, and that's all we've been asking, man. So it's nice to see right now. Kind of bad that it happened right at the end of the year, but you know what? It's the right time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned several kids, Solar, several other guys. Sagastumi seems to really be hitting the ball well for you. What are you seeing out of him at the plate?
Oh man, that kid, he has been a delight. Well, saggy bottom as we call him. That kid's just been he's been great. He's seeing the ball well, and it's amazing, honestly. And that all that credit goes to Stubb. Every bit of it. If you ask Jason, he'll tell you the same thing. Every bit of that goes to Stubb. And he worked with that kid constantly. And now since that Idaho tournament, and then in Evanston, and then he's been kind of the one thing he's been struggling with is bases loaded or runners in scoring position, second and third. He had that big RB or base clearing double against Casper, which was just ginormous for him, and the joy on his face when he did it. And I kid you not, that ball he hit was up here.
Oh, jeez.
And he burned the ball, and it was off. But he is seeing the ball extremely well. It looks like a beach ball to him right now. We got a few kids that are like that.
Yeah.
Right now, and I mean, like I said, even the outs are loud.
So, what do you look at when you see how everything's kind of shaking out here towards the end with Double A? What are you kind of anticipating up in Sheridan here in a couple of weeks?
Well, you're always going to have your. I think what Ben's done with his Sheridan group has been amazing. We'll see them on Monday. You always know what you're going to get with Nate and Gillette. You always know what you're going to get with Ty and Cheyenne. Kalen's group in Casper is stout with Grant and Caden and them boys, and then of course you got the studs with my buddy Lozano with Chavez and Ruckman. Man, I mean,
yeah,
that's a pretty deadly combo, right? I mean, what Chavez did to us the very first game, what he's done to a lot of people, and then to get that win against Post 6 is huge, right?
Yeah.
So you always got that. Even though we're one conference, that east side is still, dominant. But I think Huggy's done a great job with his boys in Jackson. Even Evanston with what Nick's done. I mean, there's a lot of parity, I think. But at the same time, you always got them. I mean, them studs, especially over there at Post 6. That's just it's a juggernaut, right? But
yeah.
You just got to play the game, man.
Yeah. Well, and you guys have come close to pulling off some upsets through the years, that's for sure. So, hey, I appreciate the time. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in Sheridan.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much, dude.